learn about clouds, Azure or AWS or GCP.
What do you suggest to a person who want to enter into cloud who has no background in IT?
With ChatGPT, Copilots now, AI became really popular, but AI has been around for many, many years. Microsoft, Oracle, LinkedIn, and Twitter, and so on. They moved their European branches out from the comfort zone. This was 10 years ago. Immigration process is a bit challenging, to be honest. So
There are a few layoffs, right? That have any effect on visas? Do you have any suggestions like how to find these tech communities within Ireland or within European communities?
I moved to work independently as a contractor. I created my own company here in Ireland.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Learn Knowledge with Rabiti Jamurabuna, episode 10. In this episode, we'll be having a conversation with Hugo. Hugo is a cloud solutions architect with over 15 years of experience in software development, architecting, and building robust solutions on the cloud. He's also recognized as Microsoft's most valuable professional, Microsoft certified trainer, Pluralsight author, and a seasoned speaker. So without any delay, let's welcome Hugo. Welcome to the podcast, Hugo. It's great having you on our show.
Thank you very much for the opportunity to be here.
How is your day going on?
The day is going well. I'm just, to be honest, really excited to do this, but also excited to just go away and just enjoy a bit of sunny day. The weather is quite good here, so yeah. And it's not so common to have sunny days here in Ireland.
Yeah, I saw that it was like cloudy today, around 16 degrees, I guess.
Yeah, no, now the sun just came out and it's really good. So we just need to, given the rarity that it is to have sunny days here, we need to enjoy every minute.
True. So I've seen that you have done your bachelor's in Portugal, right? About how is the education system there?
Sure. I would say, see, of course, I cannot compare with everywhere in the world the system, but based on my knowledge, for example, knowing a bit of the education system here in Ireland, and also in United States, and also a few countries that I have friends that were studying and so on. I would say probably it's not, of course, if you look at the ranks out there, it's probably not ranked as the best education system in the world and this kind of stuff. But I think when it comes to education, it's important to do a balance. And one thing that I really enjoy there is the fact that it allows students, independently on your social class and independently on how much money you have, to study in the same universities, which is really important. So it's inclusive, without the needs, for example, in certain countries that you need to do a credit and you need to start your professional career in depth just to finish a graduation, you know what I mean? So in summary, it's definitely accessible, which is really important in my opinion, and it's quite good, to be honest, the education system. So consequently, I think the balance it turns it a really strong option for people to study abroad and even the locals living there, of course.
Even I think it's free, right? Education till 18 years is
Yes and no, more and less. So see, it's free, but you always end up having this kind of small fees that schools charge for basic service, but you don't pay huge money for your kids or for someone to study up to university. On the university, of course, the system there works in the same way as many other countries. So you have the private schools. Typically, the private schools are more, well, if it's fair to say, at least based on my experience, it's private schools is typically more for people that are not able to fit in public school, given to the grades, because typically public school, they rank based on grades. So people with best grades typically have priority to be placed there. Of course, you have other factors, social, people that social needs and need some kind of scholarships and this kind of stuff. They give for some people as well. But the majority in public universities, they need to definitely study art in order to get good grades and have a place there.
Thanks for sharing that, Hugo. And you have moved to Ireland, right? So is there any specific reason for moving to Ireland?
Yeah. See, in a nutshell, I'm kind of a person that I always enjoy to travel and get to know different cultures. And since early days, Since my times back in university, I had the opportunity to join a really great initiative, which is a European students organization called BEST, Board of European Students of Technology. And the
Mm-hmm.
idea is the organization is represented in many different countries all over Europe. And
Mm-hmm.
what they do is they try to organize groups in different universities to allow students to pretty much contribute to the organization and organize activities to help the society and students as well
Mm-hmm.
learn more about technology and pretty much work in this kind of community projects. So
Mm-hmm.
in summary, I had the opportunity to be part of this organization. As part of being the on the organization, we have to travel a lot
Yeah.
because for example, we have our own group back in Portugal. We have 3 4 groups in Portugal that belong to Best, but we used to travel as well to meet other groups and work with other groups. So, for example, if they would organize a summer course related to renewable energies, you could pretty much sign up to be a volunteer and go there and
Mm-hmm.
help. And helping means it involves helping with all the organization of the event.
Yeah, and like even like to get into the best. So what is the process?
Yeah, the organization welcomes everyone to participate. So, but of course, the reality is, I was trying to remember the name of the type of the organization, but I just remember now it's a non-profit organization. Essentially, they depend a lot of our work and our contributions because, see, we used to have to contact companies, apply for sponsorships, request their support,
Mm-hmm.
then organize the university teachers, schedule topics, parties as well, cultural
Mm-hmm.
events, because as part of the course, so for example, to give you an idea, for example, we used to organize every year a summer course there, and
Mm-hmm.
every year we would have European students all over Europe applying to the course. We would then try to select as much as possible, but of course we have limited spots. We would select the students to participate. They would travel to Portugal, they would stay with us there in Lisbon, and they would then participate in the course related to a specific topic related to technology.
Mm-hmm.
And then as part of participating in the course, we had as well cultural activities to show the city around and the country,
Mm-hmm.
some food tasting and drink tasting and this kind of stuff. It's just, it's a way to mix the
Yeah,
fun
collaboration. Yeah.
with the learning, to just make something really
Yeah.
funny for the students. So,
So
summary, summarize and answering your question. With all these travel and while studying and working at the same time, I always try to work at the same time while studying to the university. I always enjoy to have my own independence, or part of independence at least. And then at some point in my professional career, I just felt that it was the moment to come out from the comfort zone, you know what I mean? Because it's always different when you are surrounded by your family, your friends, and everyone. So I just decided to come out of the comfort zone and just move to a different place with different culture and with no one around me to just
oh.
try. It's just a reset. And
Mm-hmm.
at that stage I came up with a few options, which were United Kingdom and Ireland, because I wanted to be close to my own town, so I
Mm-hmm.
could
Yeah.
easily travel, get a flight, travel, and then go back and visit friends and family. And that's it. I applied to United Kingdom and Ireland. I got a good position in Ireland, and that's it. I just moved, and this
Yeah.
was 10 years ago.
Pretty. I mean, like huge for a long time in Ireland. So how is the immigration process there? So the timing and everything.
Yeah, so see, immigration process is a bit challenging, to be honest. So if you are European, you can freely circulate and move to Ireland, and
Mm-hmm.
of course, then you need to figure out things, the usual things like accommodation and work and so on. But you don't need any visa. If you are non-European, you need to apply for a visa. Okay. Now there are the different types of visa. I'm not, to be honest, a really expert on this. I have my own experience, especially because my wife is
Mm-hmm.
non-European and she had to do all this journey. But one option is, of course, you can apply as a student, and then that means it requires you to sign up for a course. It can be an English course, or it can be a degree in the university as well. Of course, you need to pay by yourself all of this. Once you apply and you get the visa, then you also are entitled to work. You can work part-time, not full-time, and that visa gives you something around 10 months. So it's 8 months for studying, and then 2 months that you can have free time to travel and do whatever you want. That's as a student. Now in Ireland, since long time ago, yeah, you know, that's many technology companies, including big companies like Microsoft, Apple, Oracle, and LinkedIn, and Twitter, and so on. They moved their European branches here to Ireland, and consequently, they created a lot of job opportunities. So that means the demand increased, and it was higher than the offer. So consequently, the government had to, of course, create initiatives to allow foreign IT pros to be able to and to be motivated to move to Ireland and work here and live here. So they created, for those non-European professionals, they created a program called the critical skills, and it means that if you are applying for a job that is considered a critical skill in Ireland, you can apply for the visa. Even the company that you are doing the interview and applying for the job can apply for you, and then the government will review it and then will approve or reject depending on the cases. But that's another opportunity that you have as well.
And even loss in time. For example, this application will be reviewed in 90 days or 120 days. So within that time, will we get the response, or usually there will be delays?
Well, yeah, see, the timing is a bit uncertainty, because there are sometimes they have a lot of requests in queue, and that means they will take longer, and taking longer means they may take a few months. Sometimes it can take up to 1-2 months, but sometimes it may be quick, depending on the time that you apply, and depending on on the amount of work and request they need to review, and
Even there are like few layoffs, right? So if that is the situation, does that have any effect on visas? So
that's a good question. So, see, yes, because usually when the company applies for the visa for you to work there, the visa is tied to that company. And I know that they are trying to change that, because sometimes the person may want to move and go to a different job. But typically, as far as I know, yes, it's tied to the company. So what it means? It means that in the middle of your visa, if you want to move to a different company, probably you need to go again through the whole process. So yeah, the new company needs to apply for a visa for you for critical skills, then wait for the approval, and then do the movements.
but thanks for sharing that. And even like, to reach those companies, like we should have a good networking in Ireland, right? And even finding a proper tech community is quite difficult. Do you have any suggestions like how to find these tech communities within Ireland or within European communities?
Yeah. So I would say, see, probably a couple of years ago would be much different. But nowadays, essentially, if you go to any sites that aggregates job opportunities and offers, you could easily filter by location and then just review the job spec to see if they usually, if they accept to apply for visa, they usually mention that on the jobs. I would
Thanks for
recommend
sharing.
using LinkedIn jobs. Yeah.
Yeah, we can go through LinkedIn. Is there any language preference in Ireland? For example, if you compare with Canada, Montreal, if you are searching for jobs, people usually prefer who know French and English rather than a
Yeah.
person who knows only English. So, is there any situation like that in Ireland?
Not really. So see, the official language in Ireland is English. So as long as you speak English, and even I can tell you that early days, 10 years ago, when I joined Ireland, my English was not that good, to be honest. It was much worse than it is nowadays. And I also helped the company I was working on. I helped them recruit some people outside of Europe, and given that the demand was so high, and they didn't have other options. We were able to recruit even people that they were not even able to speak so much English.
Yeah.
Usually we would place, for example, we had situations of people coming from Brazil and with difficulties to speak English, and we would try to place them in teams that they have other people that speak Portuguese but also speak English, and they would do the translation and be the bridge between the person and the customer. But yeah, we had situations like that. So in summary, English, definitely that would be the best for you. But even if you are not fluent in English, as long as you speak a little bit enough for someone to understand you a bit, it's fine. They don't overcomplicate these things.
Got it. So like here the skill matters than language. So if they have a skill, obviously they'll be getting into the roles.
Yeah,
So
see, the demand is so high that's to alleviate a bit the requirements, because as long as you deliver the job and you know how to talk about bits and bytes, they are happy about it.
yeah, so that's
Uh,
true.
and then the
And
language, they figure out something.
true. And how did you get into cloud computing? How did you got interest into cloud computing, and how did everything started?
Okay, that's a good one. So probably let's go back a bit in the history. So I did my degree in computer science. I started to work in Portugal in a consulting service company and a software developer. My background is software development, essentially. When I moved to Ireland, I moved as well as a senior software developer. But of course, we are talking about maybe 5, 6 years ago. This trend of cloud started to roll out, and early days we had some companies trying to move to clouds, and of course I was at that time I was working with a customer. At that time I moved work independently as a contractor, and I had I created my own company here in Ireland, and the client wanted to move to the cloud, so I just decided, as anyone would do, is I just thought to myself, I would need to work with cloud. I don't know so much about cloud, so I need to learn it. So I decided to learn by myself about clouds. And also I decided as well at some point that it would be interesting to I used to see in the past, I used to always have this kind of habit to go to local groups and deliver presentations and this kind of stuff, because I really like to connect with the community and learn with others and so on, and share knowledge. But at that time, when I moved to here, I disconnected a bit from the tech community, to be honest. But at certain point, I decided, well, listen, while I'm learning, probably it makes sense to reconnect with the community and try to do something. So I started to participate in meetup groups. You have a few meetup groups here in Ireland, including the .NET group and the Azure Dublin meetup group. And then I started to attend presentations, also do deliver some presentations as well. And at some point, the pandemic, everything stopped in person, and I decided to take this opportunity to create something for the community. So that's why I decided to create the Cloud Lunch and Learn. The idea was to use a concept that I always enjoyed and always tried to use in my companies I was working on, which was the lunch and learn. I always used to get with my colleagues together, and once a week or something like that, sit together in a meeting room, just enjoy having lunch and watching some videos to learn something new. And it's a bit geek stuff. And then I just decided to just apply that to the community and create Cloud Lunch and Learn, apply to cloud, of course. But this time we created this group to provide virtual initiatives and sessions that enable anyone in the role to join us, to be more inclusive and create more opportunities for everyone. Learning aligned with certifications. I started my journey on clouds with certifications as well 5, 6 years ago, early days, and then, or even more, I lost the track of time, to be honest. Then with the certifications, with the Cloud Launch and Learn, the community group, then came opportunities to work with cloud as well. Customers migrating to clouds, I was able to take more responsibilities, different roles, and then apply my knowledge. Everything I was learning, I was applying as well in the context of my daily work.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that, Hugo. And even for example, let's consider a non-IT guy who want to enter into cloud, who want to learn the cloud. What do you suggest to a person who want to enter into cloud? who has no background in IT?
Well, I did that journey. So see, my wife
Yeah.
nowadays, she's software developer and she came completely from a different background. She used to work in the Dublin airport on the
Mhm.
security and check-ins and with the pandemic, she lost the job because the airplane stopped, flights stopped,
Mhm.
and I took this opportunity to convince her why you don't give it a try to go and move to IT. So I designed all the journey to help her move to IT. And in
Mhm.
reality, I can tell you that in less than, let's say, in less than a year, she was able to find a job, a proper job, working in a multinational organization as software developer. So the reality is, as I always, commitment is one of the most important things. Okay, don't worry so much about if someone has more skills than you or whatever. When it comes, see, talent without dedication is nothing. So commitment is really, it will be the
Yeah.
massive the factor in your daily basis. When you feel unmotivated and when you feel going down and not struggling to learn things, it's when it comes the commitment and discipline and also your self motivation comes into play. But yeah, commitment is definitely important. Of course, if you have contacts in the area and if you have people that can help you out, it can speed up things. But if you don't have, don't worry as well. Nothing will stop you as long as you are decided and determined that's what you want. In terms
True.
of the learning, always, as I always recommend, always connect to the community.
Mhm.
One of the advantage of the community is, for example, one thing you can realize simple is, for example, you have many seasoned professionals, even including cloud and IT professionals out there, MVPs and non-MVPs, and they are creating a lot of course out there in LinkedIn and other platforms.
Mhm.
But they also, as part, for example, of the MVP program, they need to also contribute to the community and create free content. So what it means, the same person with the same skills is creating paid content and free content. So in summary, what I can tell you is based on my experience, sometimes you can find really great content from great people in the community. So you just need to
Mhm.
connect with local groups in the community or even with global groups like Cloud Launch and Learn that
Mhm.
deliver sessions worldwide. So that means independently where you are, you just need a
Mhm.
connection to the internet and just a device, mobile or laptop, just connect and learn. And then community is definitely one really important one. Another one is certifications. Nowadays is becoming more and more important because it's just credentials that give some confidence to companies to try to understand your skills. Of course, in my personal opinion, credentials or even the MVP doesn't make you a Superman and doesn't mean you are the best of the best and you know everything. Not really. But what it means is to pass the exam, the certification, at least you had to study a bit for sure, unless you were fraudulent in passing the exam, which nowadays it's rare to happen as far as I know. So that means you need to study, you need to learn something in order to pass the exam. Even if you don't know everything, at least you know something. Now,
Mhm.
if you don't have the certification, nothing ensures the company that you know something. It's not because you go to an interview and you just answer some questions on the interview that you know something. No, not really. You need to practice, you need to apply the skills. Some certifications are practical. So you have labs, performance labs that evaluate you doing stuff, not only answering multi-choice questions. So it's really, I would say, definitely, I'm in favor of certifications, but I know that, of course, certifications are quite
Mhm.
expensive and not accessible for everyone. Some countries, people
Yeah.
struggle to
At
pay
it sounds well.
certifications. Yeah, that's why it's important for you to, again, community. So one thing you need to know is, for example, companies like Microsoft and AWS, they do a lot of events, community events, where a lot of times they give some kind of opportunities for people to participate in draws or even challenge. And once you complete, you get a free voucher. And with this free voucher, you can do certifications.
Yeah, that's how I did. That's how I did my certification. So I did some
Yeah.
courses and Microsoft courses, and I got a voucher. So that's how I completed a few certifications like AZ 900, SC 900, and AZ 700. So yeah, it's as you said, it's very important to go to the communities, learn like how can you get those vouchers, So it's all depends on this networking. So that's true. And even sometimes when people ask me about, they want to get into cloud, so what are some of the ways that they can get into? So as you said, certifications is one of the path where they can showcase their skills. And usually for a beginner, like a certification is at 900 if they want to learn fundamentals. And if they want to go into like compliance, SC 900. So these are some of the base certifications I would usually suggest. So like, is there any certifications that you suggest?
Certifications, you have many different options, and I would say if you are a beginner, even what I would recommend is even before, because that was exactly the journey I had to do with my wife. Even before jumping in to learn about clouds, Azure or AWS or GCP or whatever, you need to have a plan. You need to try to understand, for example, in IT is a vast role. So you have so many roles. You need to understand what, because if you can fuse this new opportunity in IT with something that you love or like, even if it's not the thing you most love, fair enough. But at least if you like it, it's a win-win situation. So what it means, you need to understand about IT, about what is IT, the different roles you have available, what each role does, what are the responsibilities. For example, what is a software developer? What software developers do? What data analysts do? What business analysts do? What designers do? So then you can assess the different paths you can explore, and you can try to understand, oh, I like to design, but I don't like to code. I don't like it's too complicated. Or I like to write down documents with requirements. Fair enough. I can go for BA, apply to IT, of course. Or I like to do more data analysis and analyze data and do reporting. Fair enough. You have data analysis and BI, business intelligence. So I would say definitely this is one of the things in the early days that you need to understand. Don't try to go in every single direction, because you will get lost easily, and you don't have enough time to go into every single direction. So you need to be focused. You need to be driven and objective. And so you need to, I would recommend you to design a plan. If you struggle to design the plan, you can always reach out to community leaders. I'm happy to help you out and give some tips anyway if you need it. And but I'm sure many other colleagues and mates I know in the community are happy as well. So reach out to someone with the experience that can help you out, understand what is your path. Once you know your path, then it's about defining the plan to decide what steps you need to take to do and to complete to achieve and reach where you want to reach. Okay, so as an example, for me, I was a software developer. At some point, I decided I definitely want to start to abstract from development. I want to do things more in a high level, more related to architecture, to design solutions and build solutions in a architectural way, to help organizations achieve the business needs they have. And at that stage, I decided to design my path on focusing my learnings on solutions architect and cloud architects. And that means doing specific certifications for that, doing courses. For example, you have many websites out there nowadays that you can, with free content, that you can learn different areas in IT. For example, if you want to give it a try, you are not sure about if you like software development, if you want to give it a try with software development, you have many websites such as the Free Code Camp that you can use. You can go there. You can use. I think the URL is freecodecamp.org, and you can go there. You have many different resources available for free that you can just give it a try and see by yourself how it is to be a software developer. And the same applies to data analysts. Same applies to other areas.
True. I agree. Platforms like HackerRank, because like there's a lot of challenges. So whenever they want to get into company, they're providing like few challenges that they have to solve. So if anyone want to get into a development job, maybe one of the platform would be HackerRank, and there is other platforms through which you can work on coding. So using such platforms, I think it will be useful. But yeah, as
Yeah.
you said, like there are many platforms through which we can learn it, and all this can be only because of this networking. Like a few people don't have idea, they try to connect with people and try to learn with like experienced people. they'll obviously suggest, okay, like these are the few platforms through which you can learn. So yeah, that's true. Thanks for sharing that, Hugo. And like if you talk about AI, we see there is AI. Okay, AI is here, AI is there. So even like morning when I was reading the news, there is search GPT. So it's like a competition to Google search where it summarizes the search results and provide the links. So everywhere we are seeing this AI. So how do you think the AI can be implemented in cloud?
Well, that's a really broad question. See, AI, nowadays everyone talks about AI, but AI has been around for many, many years. Nowadays, of course, with ChatGPT and so on and copilots, now AI became really popular, but AI has been around for many, many years. And I think it's definitely a way to go because AI is changing our society in really important ways for the best. And I'm not talking about honestly, of course, improving the productivity and going there and writing in Copilot, write me these templates, email templates. Listen, it's helping you and you are becoming more productive and becoming a bit more
Exactly.
lazy. There are some theories in psychology that people will, in a few decades, they will, because they don't exercise so much the brain, because they are going to get used to these AI tools to do everything, they will lose cognitive capabilities. But I mean, when I talk about AI, I mean more, in my opinion, more important ways. For example, you have nowadays, nowadays, no, you have since a long time there are massive improvements on the for example, to enable people with disabilities. For example, if you have someone blind, you have some AI system that can capture the video and the image and translate to audio to that person. You are providing better quality of living for that person. So, for example, you have AI systems with mechanical arms that are able to allow the surgeon control it and do really precise surgeries with no mistake. Because, for example, surgeries, you have a risk about, for example, the level of precision in the end is really important. But as we know, when we age, we start to lose precision. With these mechanical arms, you don't lose precision. So the guy is just controlling there the thing, and it's ensuring the precision all the time. Okay. And this is supported by AI because AI is inspecting and analyzing the video all the time. And if something tries to, for example, if the surgeon makes a mistake and goes to try to cut in a place that is not meant to be cut, the system is able to highlight it and alert it. You know what I mean? This is kind of examples that is really important because it will be supporting the society in really important ways. Of course, writing the email template is still important, but really, if you don't have the AI, you can still
Yeah,
write the email. Probably it's not
yeah,
as best as the AI too. Fair enough, and it probably you take more time, but you still are able to write it. But now, if you are blind, if you don't have this system, you will not see. You need someone then besides you telling you what is happening around. With these tools is enabling you to see, to listen, okay, to speak, okay. So it's a different level, okay. And these definitely, and when we talk about these, we can extrapolate to many other use cases, really important use cases that are happening nowadays. For example, one it's interesting about, I can tell you quickly, one interesting documentary I saw some time ago about apparently in London. I didn't know about it, but in London there is a lot of common robbery of bikes. They implemented these systems. They had CCTV and this kind of stuff, but of course you need always people there looking to the cameras and so on. And there are so many cameras that sometimes it's easy to miss stuff. All right. So of course now they connected AI with all these camera systems and so on. And in real time, AI is analyzing the video and it's identifying the likelihood of someone trying to steal a bike, and
Mhm.
quickly fires an alert uh, fires an alert to the person, because they have staff. So they have staff behind the cameras, looking to the cameras, but they also have staffs in the different locations, just walking and controlling the areas. And then it's able to send the alert in real time there to the person and say, okay, someone is trying to rob this bike here, and go there. And you know what I mean? So it's more
Yeah,
efficient. it's proactive, and you know what I mean, and it's again, it's supporting the society. But in summary, see, when it comes to learn about AI, I would say it's a long journey, to be honest. What you can do is, again, be active on the community, try to attend events whenever you can, just listen. Even if you don't understand everything, no problem. At least your brain is starting to receive that information and starts
Mhm.
to digest it. And also, if you can combine with certifications, see, certifications is really important in the way that, apart from being a way for you to attest your
Mhm.
skills and your credentials, it's also important because it's typically has curated content associated. That means you can go there and learn everything without losing time trying to find what is the
Mhm.
best content to read and what is valid and not valid. And nowadays, we on the internet, it's a big problem, the amount of misinformation that is shared across the board with the
True.
society. And in tech it happens as well. So be careful about it. So anytime you have the opportunity to, for example, go to Microsoft Learn to do a Microsoft certification, keep in mind that that content that you have there, it was validated and created by professionals and someone that are experts in the area. So that means you can be confident about what you are reading and what you are learning, you
Mhm.
know. So yeah, that's in a nutshell.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that, Hugo, and thanks for sharing that all the AI use cases that you shared. And even recently, have read news. I think they have done around 20 to 25 surgeries within a day, and all of them were successful. And I think it was in India. So there are a lot of use
Yeah.
cases of AI around the world. Maybe, as you said, related to integrating AI with web cameras. A lot of use cases, and even like there's a lot of automation going within the IT industry. So do you think like these automations within the like work will affect jobs?
Well, I know that different people have different opinions about this. My opinion, honestly, is simple, okay? Unfortunately, we live in a world that's, for many people and many organizations, it's all about numbers, okay? That's the reality.
Mhm.
That's what, at least what I see. And what will happen is, for example, I can give a practical example so you can understand where I'm going. Imagine, for example, GitHub Copilot. Okay, for those that are not familiar with GitHub Copilot, it's just an AI assistant that you can install there on GitHub, and it helps the developers to create code and applications in a faster way and more assertive way. Now imagine that a certain company installs and enables GitHub Copilot for their devs. They have a team of 10 devs, okay? And they realize, okay, they are producing much more faster, okay? Now, there are two possible outcomes from this, in my opinion. One possible outcome is the company starts to produce faster and starts to develop the business faster and starts to expand and scale, and consequently it will not possibly impact the existing dev teams. But there are certain companies that they cannot scale that's fast, and consequently they need to keep the work stream in a constant pace. So if people start to deliver things faster, probably they will see a chance for people to decrease the number of devs they need, because they will be able. So, for example, if the devs become two times faster, that means they can deliver two times the work they used to deliver with 10. So that means they can decrease to 5 and deliver the same work at the same time. Okay, that's a simple math. What it means, they will decrease the cost of those salaries by half. Okay, so definitely, honestly, I think this will end up happening. Okay, but does it mean it's the end for you? Not necessarily. For the devs, what I would say is more and more is really important for you to know, not only the devs but everyone. It's more and more important for you to know as much as possible about AI tools available in the market, because these companies, they will be introducing AI tools to improve and increase the productivity of professionals, and it will be an advantage for those that know about those tools, because when it comes to pick, they will pick the ones that know already how to use the tools and master the tools. Okay,
Mhm.
and this not only applies to development, it applies to design. For example, you have tools that design for you. It applies to content creation, and it applies to creating things in the clouds. DevOps guys doing scripts to automate cloud provision and the infrastructure as code, forget about it. About this, man. You can put AIs there generating the scripts for you so easily, and you can completely decommission a full team of DevOps. Or of course not the commission. I'm being a bit dramatic, but of course we still need guys validating the stuff. AI, see, one key takeaway is AI will not replace human, because you always need to verify, because there is always a margin for error in AI. AI is not 100% right, and there is always margins for error. So you need people there. But that's what I said. If you have, for example, instead of 10 devs, if you have 5 devs using the AI tools and verifying and then delivering the stuff same for the same time, companies will not think about twice about decreasing the number of people there. So what you can do, learn as much as possible about AI tools to be on top in terms of your roles and your positions. And if you see that still there is a risk on this, why not considering a career change? It's harder to be unemployed and without money. So nothing stops you. Nowadays you can learn. Even in Europe, there are so many countries that gives you so many options for free. We cannot complain about opportunities. In other places, in other regions in the world, I know that people don't have the same opportunities. But if you have the opportunities, just take them and appreciate them, because you are lucky.
Yeah, I agree. And also, like, you are being a part of Microsoft certified trainer, right? So what's the process?
Yeah, so MCT changed slightly a bit. So I did the MCT. I applied for MCT on during the pandemic, on early days of the pandemic. And at that time, as long as you would have experience that you were teaching and delivering courses to students and so on, and the proof of your teaching skills, you would apply. You would provide all the evidence, and you would pay the fees and receive the MCT. Nowadays, I know they put back the requirements about you need to do a course. So you need to do a course with one of the partners to showcase your teaching skills. And once you pass the course, then you can apply for the MCT and show as well your experience teaching people. And then you pay the fees, and then you become an MCT, Microsoft Certified Trainer.
Thanks for sharing that too. And like, I think, like, as you mentioned, maybe first we have to apply, we have to showcase that, okay, we have talent about maybe Azure services. So once we showcase them, maybe like they'll be giving a platform where we have to do some training, and we have to pass that exam, and finally we'll be getting the certification once you pay fees. And you were also part of Pluralsight Author, right? So if you compare, let's say MCT and Pluralsight Author, like which process was, tough?
Well, both. Every process has their own complexities. Think with me. I used to say this many times, even to my teams and so on. Even riding a bike can be complex for some people, okay, and be simple for other people. So the complexity depends on your level of preparation, in my opinion. So, but the process of Pluralsight is completely different from process of MCT. So you as an MCT, usually, for example, imagine that you become an MCT and you want to deliver training for the Azure Fundamentals, AZ900, right? So the first step you need to do is take the certification and pass the certification. Once you pass the certification, Microsoft will provide you the Microsoft's official course materials that you can use to deliver the course. Okay, so you can use those materials to just deliver the course and use your knowledge to just deliver the training. So you don't need to create any content. On the Pluralsight side, of course, the story is completely different. So apart from your knowledge and apart from the certifications you need to take as well, if you are creating a course related to a certification, you also need to create the contents. So it's a process that takes time. It's a process that takes there is some learning curve about not the technology and the IT topics that you are trying to deliver, but of course Pluralsight focus, one of the main focus is on quality, deliver quality of contents. Then of course you need to create slides, you need to create all the content, you need to define and propose a content plan with all the topics you want to cover. You need to create demos, prepare demos, you need to record the presentations, you need to create those presentations, do cuts, prepare things, and then just deliver. Okay, so it's different process, but both of them really enrichment.
Thanks for sharing that, Hugo. And like, we are in the end of the podcast. So do you have any life lessons or suggestions to youngsters that you want to share?
Well, yeah, just as I always say, be happy and try to do what you really enjoy. Sometimes, of course, we need to find the balance. We cannot do what we love. If I would go for what I love, probably I would be trying to be a football player. Nowadays, probably I would be playing on second or third division, or maybe these
Mm-hmm.
details. But there was a stage in my life that I had to do a decision, or I tried to go to uncertainty and follow the love about becoming a football player, or I try to study and get a degree and get a profession. So I would say try to find something that you like, even if you don't, it's not the thing that you most like or love, but at least you like it, so you don't get frustrated and you don't get tired on daily basis. And as long as you find something that you like, you will never work one single day in your life. So it will be just having fun doing stuff that you like. And things, and then naturally will happen, like studying for certifications and studying for things. And as I always say, it's always important. I see so many when I talk to friends, and I do some mentorship as well. I mentor some people in the community, and I see a common problem in a lot of people, which is about the vision. You need always to have a vision. It's really important for you to have the vision, because it's the vision that will help you motivate on those bad days and dark days, that you need to motivate yourself and do and understand why you are doing that, why you are there, feeling the pain, so then you can motivate yourself and continue the journey. So vision is really important. Always be clear about where you want to reach, how you want to reach, and what you need to do to reach there, and when you need to reach. Okay, it's really important to have that vision. So then, of course, visions change. If something goes wrong, no problem. Just go down, go get back up, and let's go again. You know what I mean? We fail so
Yep.
many times. But the main difference between you and someone else is probably someone else who fail and will give up. And if you don't give up, I can assure you that you will reach success at a certain stage. Okay?
Thanks for saying that, Hugo. Like, and I do agree. You have to have that vision, and with that vision, like even like motivation, but like more than motivation, I think the discipline should be there, because maybe today you have motivation, tomorrow you may not have that motivation. But if you have that discipline and consistency towards that vision, obviously one day you'll be reaching that. So that's true.
Yeah.
So thanks for sharing that. And this is the end of the podcast. If you've liked my video, please do like my video, and please do share and subscribe. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment section below. And yeah, see you in the next episode. Thanks, everyone.